lane 1, Princeton in the middle lane, that's lane 2, Michigan in the near lane, that's lane 3. And we're off. All right off the start, looks like Brown is a little bit ahead. Michigan's ahead now. Princeton seemingly in second. Brown barely in third. Very close right off the start. Princeton looking as though they are at the highest stroke rating. Brown clearly high as well. Michigan seems to be taking it a lower stroke rating, but clearly pulling very hard. All right, Princeton seems as though it's slightly ahead at this point. Princeton looking very reserved, very relaxed, exactly what they want. Brown is very close to them, less than a seat between the two crews. Michigan slightly behind, again, can't be more than a seat down. Definitely seems as though Princeton is ahead. Now it seems as though Brown is moving. Brown seems as though they are the victor at this point, the leader. Princeton seems to be dropping back a little bit. Brown is clearly taking a move, and it is working. Michigan is going at a steady rhythm. Seem to be going at a very steady speed. All right, now Brown is clearly ahead. Princeton clearly in second. Brown is up on Princeton by seemingly 4 seats. Princeton maybe a seat or 2 up on Michigan at this point. And we are just we're finishing the first 500 meters of the race. Brown with a very serious lead at this point. And we're through the 500 meter mark. Okay, Princeton up by 2 seats on Michigan. Brown up by 4 seats up on Princeton. It seems as though they still have contact, but they are trying to break away. Brown seems very strong in this headwind. There we go. It seems as though Brown may have a bit of open water on Princeton. Princeton seems to be 4 seats up on Michigan at this point. Brown pulling away. Princeton moving. Okay, this seems as though Michigan and Princeton now are going at the same speed. Princeton is holding a consistent 4 seats up, maybe moving a little bit, and Brown is moving away from the field. Okay, now Princeton is moving. We are about 750 meters into the race. Princeton is moving past Michigan. They are creeping up on Brown, who has a much larger lead, but they are creeping up on them at this point. That was a very good move. Seems as though Michigan is responding now. Just a slight pushback. Brown, all the meanwhile, moving away. Okay. Right now, Princeton is up stern deck on bow deck on Michigan. Brown is a full boat lengths of open water ahead of the field. Brown is moving away, looking strong, increasing their lead. Princeton is still stern decked, bow deck, slight open water on Michigan. All right, crossing through the 1,000. Brown is ahead by 1.5 to 2 boat lengths of open on Princeton. Princeton is still stern deck to bow deck with Michigan. Brown is consistently pushing just slightly further each stroke. Princeton moving tall and strong, still stern deck to bow deck with Michigan. The margins are staying the same. Brown is pushing away a little further. Now it's looking as though it's clearly 2 boat lengths of open water to 4 lengths of open water. Princeton is still in contact with Michigan, stern deck to bow deck. Michigan is making a move. They are shortening that gap. Now Michigan's coxswain is on the stern deck of Princeton. Brown is a solid 2 boat lengths ahead. Michigan is still moving. The coxswain is getting close to the Princeton stroke seat, still behind. All right. We are about 600 meters to go. We are approaching the 500 to go. Brown is 2.5 lengths of open water on Princeton. Michigan is moving on Princeton. Their coxswain is even with the stroke seat of Princeton. Now their bow seat is even with the stroke seat of Princeton. Michigan is moving on Princeton right now. Bow seat is even with their 3 seat. And Brown is passing through the 500 to go. Michigan is moving. Michigan is almost even with Princeton. They are a seat down, and now they are moving, and now they are even. 500 to go. Brown is 2.5 boat lengths of open water up on the field. Princeton and Michigan are duking it out. Michigan has a 1 seat, 2 seats open, or 2 seats above Princeton now, and they are moving. Again, this is the women's A4. Michigan now in a clear second. They are moving past Princeton. They have now taken Princeton completely. Now their stern deck is on Princeton's bow deck. Brown consistently moving ahead. Now they seem to be 3 lengths of open water ahead. Princeton trying to make a move now. Approaching the sprint. Brown has started to lift their rating. All crews have started to lift their rating, and now they are sprinting. Brown 3 lengths of open ahead. Michigan ahead of Princeton, almost getting open water at this point. In the final red buoys, all crews. And Michigan is pulling away from Princeton with just a tad of open. Brown pulling away further. Final strokes of the race here. Princeton is moving back into Michigan, perhaps getting contact. Brown has maybe 6 strokes left in the race. Princeton and Michigan have about 10. Okay, Michigan definitely has a tad of open on Princeton. And here we go. Brown has finished. Michigan going to the finish now, followed by Princeton.